Today we're going to talk about Stokes fly-through hopper bird feeder, also known as a canteen feeder. To run through the basic operation of this feeder, you put your bird seed in, and your bird seed surrounds this opening. There's a perch here for the birds to land on, and in the center there is a hole where the birds can access their feed. I'll take off this paper wrapping and we'll talk more about this feeder. So starting at the top of the feeder, we have a steel hanging cable. And this steel cable is coated with a clear vinyl coating. This coating appears to be somewhat thin, so in time it may start to wear out right here where the feeder hangs. And if that does happen to you, this vinyl coating will not wear out past this top point where this clip is, which is a good thing because you may end up hanging on to the bird feeder here, and you don't want to hang on to the feeder with bare steel just in case you may end up with a steel sliver. So that clip will prevent that vinyl coating to go past that point. This vinyl coating will probably take quite a while to wear out since there's not movement. While this swings, there's not much movement on my finger. But if it does wear out, that clip will prevent it from peeling off any further past this point. At the top of the feeder is the lid where you fill your bird seed. The opening is roughly 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And the lid latches quite securely. At the bottom you have the perch and the holes right here for the birds to access their bird seed. At the bottom of the feeder we have some slits, and that's to allow water to drain out, to escape from the feeder if water starts to build up in here. To wash this feeder, you have to take this feeder apart, and there's 2 screws on the top, 2 screws on the bottom. So I'll take this feeder apart and we'll see how user-friendly this feeder is to take apart and put back together again. You need a Phillips screwdriver. To take this feeder apart, you have to put your finger on the bottom side. So what happens when you unscrew that screw from the nut just falls out. And you want your finger there to prevent that nut falling on the ground, especially if you're doing it outside like I am. Take this last screw out. Take that over. Now it's not going to come apart because the lid is still closed, so you've got to open up the lid and then pull this apart. The perch just fell off, and then sometimes this lid will fall off, but you just got to slide it out and it'll come apart. And as you can see, you have easy access to clean this feeder, but you have to clean it with these fairly close together because the hanging cable you are not able to take apart or detach it from the feeder itself. So we'll just put this back together again, and where it lines up, the center, it overlaps it probably by an eighth of an inch, so it will help prevent water from coming into this seal here. The perch has a slot here. I can't see that very well, but it has a slot there, and that slot goes inside of this opening here. Slide that in there. Take the other side. Slide it into there. And then the lid has 2 holes on it, one on each side, and it just fits into here. You gotta spread the feeder apart a bit. And you just close it. Now it doesn't matter which side the opening is on, it will work just like that or flipped around to the other side. So then you just take a nut, put it on your finger, slide it up in there, take a screw, and then screw this feeder back together again. And it don't matter which side the nut goes on, don't matter which side the screw goes on, it will work both ways. And these nuts and these screws are a fairly good size. They're not little tiny screws that you may find in your glasses or sunglasses. So we'll just put this last one in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this feeder up with mixed birdseed. And that is going to add some color to this feeder. So I'll put some mixed bird feed in here, and then we'll find a place to hang it, and we'll see what the birds think of it.